Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Vanguard box set for the Hedonites of Slaanesh, and take a look at how we can build this force up from this box set for the current season of Warhammer Age of Sigmar in Andtor. Now, we're going to go through the contents of the box set, talk about all the units that come inside it, the options we have when building some of these kits, because some of them are dual kits, and take a look at briefly what they do on the tabletop as well. We'll then take a look at some other units we think are some great ways to expand upon this initial box set, and then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own force of the Hedonites of Slaanesh in Andtor. And so, to begin with, first of all, this box set is actually led by an Andtorian locus, which is really great for a start, and that is the Shardspeaker of Slaanesh. 5 wounds and a 5+ save with a 6-inch move and bravery 7, pretty standard stuff for a wizard. Now, you do have a couple of different attack profiles with your Shadow Cloak Claws, providing you with 5 attacks at 3s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2, and the Haze Staff as well being 2 attacks at 4s and 4s, no Ren damage 2. This is pretty cool. Now, how this sort of works is you do have the Mist Lurkers, where if this unit successfully casts a spell that's not unbound, you'll gain the Shadow Claw weapon profile above and can attack with that melee weapon. In addition, you'll also have a ward save of 4+ until your next hero phase. So, pretty cool that you can get the extra attack. You won't have those Shadow Claws at all times, but, you know, being able to get a wizard to get potentially 10 damage, or probably more average 4 or 6 damage, is pretty nice. Now, it is a 1 cast and 1 unbind wizard. You've got the Twisted Mirror as well, where once per turn in your shooting phase, you can pick an enemy unit within 9 inches of this unit and roll a dice. For a 4+, you subtract 1 from save rolls for attacks that target that unit until your next hero phase. And then you've got Reflection Eternal, which is your War Scroll spell. You pick an enemy unit within range and visible to the caster, and you subtract 1 from the attacks of the unit. Now, joining this model, we then have a battle line unit, which is the Blissbarb Archers. You get 11 models in this set, though technically 10 of them are Blissbarb Archers, and 1 of them is the little homunculus that tags along with them. They are 1 wound each and a 6+ save, so pretty fragile, but the Blissbarb Bows are 2 attacks each at 3s and 4s, Ren -1 damage 1. And you've got the Bliss Brew Homunculus as well. While this unit is containing its little homunculus there, you can add 1 to wound rolls as well, so essentially turning a unit into 3s and 3s on those bows. Light-footed Killers is their special rule, where they can run and still shoot later in the turn. We then have 3 Slaangor Fiendbloods as well, a really interesting unit for the Slaanesh. You've got 3 wounds and a 5+ save, but you've got a bunch of attacks coming out of each model. Now, each model is equipped with the Razor Sharp Claws, which are 4 attacks at 4s and 3s, Ren -1 damage 2, though the champion will go up to his Razor Sharp Claw and Gilded Weapon. So 5 attacks, 4s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2, so it gets an extra attack in there on the profile, which is pretty cool. Now, slaughter at any cost is their rule at the end of any phase. If any wounds or mortal wounds were allocated to this unit in that phase, this unit, as long as it's more than 9 inches away from all enemy units, can make a move of up to d6 inches. And obsessive violence, once per battle, the unit can effectively pile in and fight twice. Now, lastly, we have a dual kit inside this box set as well, which is the Blissbarb Seekers and Slipblade Seekers. Now, we'll start with the Blissbarb Seekers. These are essentially Blissbarb Archers on the Exalted Seekers of Slaanesh. They've got 4 wounds each and a 5+ save. The Blissbarb Bows, same profile as the foot, but we do get that extra shot on all of them, so they're 3 shots at 3s and 4s. And then we've also got the Flawless Accuracy, where they can run and still shoot. And Vectors of Agony, if any wounds caused by attacks made with a missile weapon by this unit are allocated to an enemy unit, you can subtract 1 from save rolls for attacks that target that unit until the end of that turn. So, pretty cool to sort of pair off with your other archers, being able to shoot first, get through a wound or 2, and hopefully get some extra rend or essential rend in there. Now, the other option we can build out of this are the Slipblade Seekers. These are a more dedicated combat unit. They are going to have their Slickblade Glaive, which is 3 attacks at 3s and 3s, Ren -2 damage 2. Unrivaled Velocity gives them run and charge, and Decapitating Strikes means you can add one to the attack's characteristics of their glaives if the target unit has a wounds characteristic of 3 or less. So really good for charging into opposing sort of infantry for the force. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. Now looking at where to go next for the force, and of course we're going to look at some of the other Andtorian locuses, and the first of these is going to be the Vice Leader, which is our standard sort of Herald of Slaanesh. 5 wounds, 5 up save, exactly what you expect. Raking Claws there have 6 attacks at 3s and 4s, rend 1 damage 2, so pretty nice for a wizard in all honesty. It's a 1 cast and 1 unbind, has a built-in 5 up ward and can run and still charge later in the turn. Acquiescence is a spell that the model will have, casting value of 5, range of 18. You pick an enemy unit within range invisible, and you can add 1 to wound rolls for attacks that target that unit. I really dig spells that target an enemy unit, allow multiple of your units to pile in and get the benefits against them. Can get a lot of use out of them. Lust for Violence in the combat phase. If this unit ever fights, you can bring in a unit of Daemonettes around it, and they can fight immediately after it. Now, another Andtorian locus is the Contorted Epitome. Now, the Contorted Epitome is a little bit interesting. 7 wounds, 5+ saves, definitely in that sort of higher echelon of Andtorian locuses. You've got the Gifted Power where you can reroll casting rolls. Obviously, with the nice little primal dice, you can't reroll any of the rolls for them. So you've got a nice interesting thing. If you roll low, you take the reroll. If you roll high, you would automatically add your primal dice to it. Swallow Energy means the unit has a ward save of 2+ against mortal wounds, which is really nice, especially against magic. And Overwhelming Acquiescence is you can effectively apply the same debuff, but to D3 different enemy units within range. Now, of course, we've talked about the Vice Leader, so if we're going to bring one of them, having a unit of Daemonettes to pair alongside is nice. They're also our cheapest battle line option, so there's definitely that going for them as well. And they're always a useful unit to have there to summon as well. Daemonettes are 1 wound each, a 5+ save. They've got their Piercing Claws with 2 attacks each, and 3s, 4s, rend 1, damage 1. But they do have the option where they can actually take a Standard Bearer and an Icon Bearer in every 10 models, because for each 5 you can have one of each. So the Banner Bearer gives +1 to your run and charge rolls, and the Icon Bearer allows you to potentially return some models to your unit. Meanwhile, the Hornblower allows you to reroll failed battleship tests, which is pretty nice when you've got a standard bravery of 10. The unit has Lithe and Swift as well. It's a special rule, meaning it can run and still charge later in the turn. Now, lastly, we have the Seeker Chariot. This can be built as a variety of different kits, but we are going to talk about the Seeker because I think these are a really nice little extra unit to be bringing into your force. They can be taken as, you know, just some standard units. 6 wounds, 4+ save. Their big thing, though, is going to be the Mutilating Blades, where after the unit finishes the charge move on a 2+, it just does D3 mortal wounds to the enemy, and it can retreat and still charge as well. And so here we have our sample army list. We are 990 points out of 1,000, so there is a chance we will get to use the Triumph we've picked, which has been inspired. Now, we've gone for playing in the Pretenders subfaction. This, I think, there really isn't any Slaanesh one I think that stands out amongst the rest, though they do have a couple of different things that I like in them. So really, for me, it is picking which one you want. But the extra sort of commands and having multiple models as your ability to use command points on, I think, is probably one of the better ways to go. Now, we have gone for the grand strategy, which is the Barren Icescape. When the battle ends, you complete this grand strategy. If all enemy units that have artifacts of power are destroyed, then there are no enemy units within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. Now, we've then gone for our leader to be the Shardspeaker of Slaanesh, who to be our general. Command trait I, the Blizzard, allows us to potentially roll for an extra primal magic dice. And then we've got the spell Merciless Blizzard as a really powerful spell there that potentially can do 4d6 mortal wounds, though it has the potential to do some serious damage to the wizard if it fails. We then have a Vice Leader who has the artifact, which will be the Crown of Dark Secrets. At the start of your first hero phase, you pick an enemy unit on the battlefield, and for the rest of the battle, while that unit's within 6 inches of the bearer, the attack characteristic of its weapons in melee is 1. It's pretty cool. The Vice Leader is more likely to get up in combat. We then have our 11 Blissbarb Archers and our 10 Daemonettes, both fully upgraded in there. 3 Slaangor Fiendbloods, 5 Blissbarb Seekers, and a Seeker Chariot rounding us out. This gives us everything in a battle regiment, meaning we are a 1-drop force, which is really nice. If you've got some ideas on how you'd play with your Hedonites of Slaanesh, or indeed start off with the box set, expand upon it, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fun little community, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description, and also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon or YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from our Teespring store as well. All of those are linked down in the video's description, and a special thank you to our YouTube members and patrons. We'd like to give you all a shout out, so thank you to our YouTube members John Castle, Disco, James Tillman, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Ariana Edwards, Broken Chef, the Johnny84, Loch Lorick, Ronya, Green Roots Gaming, and our patrons Wasaren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimskull, and Andy C. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.